Alright, back to do a UFC 101 review video, and this is kind of a disappointing fight card, really. It didn't have a lot of promise, though, so I guess we really shouldn't have expected a lot better. Night opened up with Josh Neer versus Kurt Pellegrino. Josh Neer kind of getting taken down and controlled because unfortunately Kurt didn't stick to his standing bang words, which I didn't expect him to do. I just thought Neer could possibly stop a takedown, and yeah, he couldn't. Neer had the better of sub attempts, but nothing terribly close. Pellegrino had a couple guard passes, decent ground and pound, picks up QD pretty easily. And we move on to Kendall Grove versus Ricardo Almeida. Ricardo Almeida could take down Kendall Grove. He could control Kendall Grove. Once he got past his guard, he would start to actually get pretty offensive. Grove had one nice armbar attempt, but that's about it on the ground. Grove had, issues keeping it off the ground and out of the clinch. And he wasn't as offensive in the clinch as I thought he should have been to try to keep, and he didn't really use his range at all. So a good win for Ricardo. Rumor is he's heading down to 170, so we'll see about that. Then there was Johnny Hendricks and Mir Sadala. This was a bit of a quick stoppage only because it's Dan Miragliotta, who has actually let a lot of fights go a lot longer, and I would like to see some consistency out of him if he's going to keep reffing events. Johnny Hendricks, winner by knockout. Bit of an upset there on Amir Sadala. Then we had Aaron Riley versus Shane Nelson. This was one of the better fights because it was back and forth and it was somewhat competitive, and it was a bit sloppy, but you got some moments out of it there. You kind of went, this is a pretty decent fight. It was basically a case of Riley basically being able to strike, Shane Nelson just being able to outpower him and out-wrestle him. And when you can do that, you will generally win, as long as you're not dealing with some kind of big power puncher. Shane Nelson, Aaron Riley, I don't really know where they go. Going back though, Kurt Pellegrino is kind of getting into that semi-title contention area. Maybe a fight with Tyson Griffin could be interesting. As for Neer, he's an exciting fighter, but he's a brawler. I don't really think he's not really an upper echelon contender. Maybe a guy for him to fight would be Rob Emerson. As for Almeida, I really don't know. If he drops down to 170, it's hard to figure out where he throws him. With Kendall Grove, I don't really know where to throw that guy because he's got some good things going for him, but I don't really know who I would match him up with. Same with Hendricks and Sadala. I think you look to get Sadala a win, so maybe someone new and kind of a setup to win. Hendricks, tough call. I mean, we didn't really see a lot of him out of this fight. I mean, he showed he has power. He shows he's got some hand speed. He's got some striking. We know he has good wrestling. But it's maybe a somewhat of a testing fight against someone along the lines of a Tanner McCrory or John Howard, who fought tonight. And then we move on to the Forrest Griffin Anderson Silva. And 205 lookout. Anderson just utterly picked apart Forrest and finished him with really not even a power punch. It's very disturbing. His next fight obviously will be the title defense against Dan Henderson. As for Forrest, we hope his chin's not gone because with the way he fights, he's going to need it. But maybe a little bit of a tune-up fight. He's just fought Rashad. He's fought Anderson Silva. Maybe it's time to take a bit of a step down and deal with a guy like a Tim Boach or something like that to kind of just get the confidence back, get rolling, because he has amazing markability. So I mean, obviously, the UFC wants to keep him around. Next fight was the main event: BJ Penn versus Kenny Florian. Kenny did okay. He successfully neutralized BJ at points. But at the same time, he didn't really have a lot of significant offense. Ended up getting submitted in the fourth round. BJ's cardio looked good. He wasn't really pressed, so I'm not sold that he has good conditioning and good cardio yet. I want to see a pace get pushed on him, and he still responds to that. That's something we think we need to see. The guy actually I think I would kind of want to see is a guy who's trained with BJ, Greg Maynard, maybe fight him. But realistically, the guys I really want to see BJ fight are not in the UFC. And that's kind of unfortunate. As for Kenny, back down the ladder with you, someone semi-contentious, maybe a Frankie Edgar fight would be in the cards. Maybe a Tyson Griffin fight. Maybe Kurt Pellegrino. I mean, there's a lot of options there, I think. Then we got George Saueropoulos versus George Roop, kind of just to kill the last couple little minutes, and basically Saueropoulos kind of dominating, taking down Roop. Somewhat at will, passing guard, again somewhat at will. Roop had a couple good escapes, showed good heart. He gave Saueropoulos a good black eye. He survived to the second round, which was props because he was getting kind of worked. And but I think in the end we kind of are seeing that just George Roop is just really not UFC level, and Saueropoulos is a guy to look out for. Maybe a fight against. It's a tough call who I want to really see him fight against. Someone along the line, someone kind of like, this is the top of the division and this is the bottom of the division. Someone kind of like right there would be good, because I don't think Roop was a sufficient test to see where he's at. Anyways, that was my thoughts on the card. It was not a great one. If you didn't see it, I don't really recommend ordering the replay. But you know, we can look forward to UFC 102, which I think is a somewhat better card. Anyways, peace out.